So, in this video, you guys are actually going to get three stories um, in one video because they're short stories. I've cracked my head open a total of 4 times, but one of those times I can't remember very well. Sorry if you heard that beeping, that was watch. So, one of those times I cannot remember very well at all. So, I'm just going to tell you the other three that some of them are, two of them are, kind of more on the fuzzy side, but I remember them enough to tell them, and then one of them just happened last year. So, let's get into it. So the first one in Maine, which Maine, Portland, Maine, or it may even be Cape Elizabeth, Maine. I don't know, because I used to live kind of near here, but I don't know if it's Portland or Cape Elizabeth. If you know where either of those places are, you might know where this place is. It's called Fort Williams. It's a park. It used to be a base for Civil War, actually. So they got a bunch of cool, fort-like thingies. And I went there with my mom took me there with my friend and his mom, of course. And they have like this little staircase that you walk down to get somewhere. I forgot where. Like I'm saying, this was a long time ago. Like I was probably 5 or 6 when this happened. Like I was young. Um, and me at the time, I still like to jump and like skip stairs when I jump. But stupid me, I decided to do it. And I jumped, and it was only like 3 stairs, so it wasn't that many. But I slipped, and there was like the little thing that the stairs, like stairs where they go up to. I hit my head on that, and I fell the rest of the way down, which wasn't that long, but it was hard. So I cracked my head open, and I cried. But mostly the reason I cried is because I didn't want to go to the doctor. Um, Going to the doctor would suck because they would probably have to give me stitches, or maybe a staple, which later in the never mind. I'm not even gonna spoil the next story. But sorry, I'm filming this the wrong way. I'll film it this way. But anyway, that happened. I didn't end up going to the doctor for that one. That healed up fine, and I've got a scar from that now. By the way, I've got a scar from that one. And then the next time was also in Maine, in this gazebo-like place. And so I was in this gazebo, and I went on a bench, like a bench to look out somewhere, and I guess I was just clumsy, and I fell backwards, and I hit my head right on a little pebble, which shouldn't do much, but it was enough to break the skin. By the way, when I say cracked open, I mean it just broke the skin. My skull didn't fracture or anything. It just broke the skin. For any of these three stories. So I'm crying because it hurts. I was young. Like at this time, I was probably 5 or 6. You know, this probably was probably a year after the last one, maybe even less than that. And I start eating these goldfish out of the car, and my mom's like, I think we should, like, take you in because you're not acting right. And I was like, please don't. Like, don't do that. Like, even at 5 or 6, I still hated urgent care. Like, I hated the doctor of any kind. Like, I didn't want to go. So I go home, and I'm like, Mom, can you make me... We go home, and I'm like, Mom, can you make me a sandwich? I still remember this vividly. Mostly probably because my mom has told it so many times. But, so, I have this sandwich, and I lost it. It got away from me somehow, or I got away from it somehow. I guess I must have left it somewhere. I lost the sandwich. And I'm going, hey, Mom, where's my sandwich? And she's like, I don't, I don't know. This is how I'm remembering the story, by the way. So this could be a little incorrect, but That's how I remember it. So I see the sandwich, or what I think is the sandwich, and I go to pick it up, and my mom's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm picking up my sandwich." And she was like those are my sunglasses. Like, so I was trying to pick up my mom's sunglasses, thinking that they were my sandwich. And I did get the sandwich back, but my mom was like, "Okay, I think we're gonna take you to urgent care." And I remember I was downstairs at the time, and I was like kind of drifting off to sleep, and she was like, Mm-mm, "Don't go to sleep, because if you have a concussion, you can fall into a coma or whatever." That's a myth, by the way. I don't think that actually happened. So I went to the doctor, and I did have a minor concussion. Like minor concussion. So some people have concussions where it affects them. It can affect them even years after. That this was not that kind of concussion. So they were like, "We're gonna run a CAT scan." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." Even though it wasn't that bad, but I thought it was because of stuff I had heard about it. So they're like, "Okay, we're gonna put a staple in your head." I was like, "Oh," they didn't numb me at all. They put the staple in my head, which was probably more scary than it hurt. But, you know, that was that. And I went home. I was good. Of course, I had a staple in my head, but, yeah, that was that. Sorry, that story was a little longer than I thought it would be, but, now on to story 3. Um, So, when I lived in Long Beach, the way when you went out into the yard, there was like this addition. So there was an addition that they built onto the house, um, and it was like a roof, kind of a not a roof, but like a kind of cover, like to just kind of like block the sun or whatever. So yeah, it was kind of like a roof. It was metal. And stupid me skipping the stairs again, even years later when I'm 15 years old. So I go to jump, and pretending I'm some Star Wars character or something like that. That's right. I still pretend I'm Star Wars characters. And so I go to do that, right? And I jump, and I hit my head right on this ceiling thing, and I go down to the ground, and I'm just like, "Oh, like that hurts. Go get mom," I said to Joey, and I kind of just laid there. It hurt really bad. Um, but in the end, I was okay. We put some ice on it. It was bleeding, but it healed up. And I have a scar from that one too. I have a scar from all 3 of these stories, believe it or not. So, you know, I guess the moral of the story would be don't skip stairs, but then again, I kind of cracked my head open by my own stupidity, so all 3 of those times. So mainly don't be stupid. But you know, what can you do? They make for some good stories. They make for some cool stories, especially the second one I told. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything more to say. So bye guys. Thumbs up, subscribe.